Dr. Rhea Cortland stood transfixed before the glowing console as a cascade of radiant frequencies swept through her lab, an otherworldly melody that promised both salvation and transformation. The world outside was a tapestry of decay and dim hope, a planet scarred by relentless conflict and environmental ruin, yet within the sterile, humming sanctuary of her research facility, a singular brilliance had emerged from the void of space. "This isn't an attack," she murmured, her voice trembling with a mix of awe and steely resolve. "It's a call, a whisper from the cosmos inviting us to rediscover our lost potential." The words spilled from her lips as if compelled by the very signal itself, a cosmic vibration that resonated with every fiber of her being. The gentle, pulsating light of the alien message, emanating from a distant civilization known as the Zalek, filled the room with iridescent hues that danced across screens and brushed against the worn faces of her dedicated team. Each pulse of the signal seemed to unlock long-buried memories of human legends and ancient prophecies, stirring dormant energies within the human spirit. "Marshall, record every nuance," she instructed sharply, her eyes locked onto the mesmerizing patterns that ebbed and flowed like the tides of destiny. The technician's response was immediate and measured. "Data is streaming in now, Doctor. The patterns are unlike any terrestrial phenomenon. They echo as if they're speaking directly to our neural pathways." In that moment, the lab transformed into a crucible of possibility. The ambient hum of machinery and the quiet murmur of scientists merged with the alien cadence, creating a symphony of hope amid humanity's twilight. Rhea recalled the pain of past conflicts, the countless lives lost to the unending cycles of violence and despair, and felt a surge of determination swell within her. This signal, so serene and yet so potent, might hold the key to a renaissance, a chance for mankind to transcend its fractured state and reclaim the spirit of exploration and unity that had once defined it. "We must understand this language of light," she continued, her voice rising with fervor as she scribbled complex equations onto a glass board, each symbol a step toward deciphering the hidden blueprint of the alien message. Her team, a motley assembly of weary yet hopeful scientists, listened intently, their eyes reflecting the luminous glow of the monitors as if they too were part of a larger, cosmic narrative. The data began to reveal subtle modulations that mirrored the rhythmic patterns of the human brain, hinting that the alien signal was not merely a benign greeting but an intentional activation of something buried deep within humanity's genetic memory. A young researcher, barely out of his academic apprenticeship, leaned forward and observed, "Doctor, these oscillations, they're aligning with what we know about neural resonance. It's as if the signal is awakening a dormant facet of our evolution." His words, tentative yet laced with wonder, ignited a spark in Rhea's mind. She envisioned a future where this very activation might elevate humanity beyond its current limitations, unlocking abilities that had long been confined to myth and legend. "Imagine," she said softly, "if this is our moment to rise, a chance to become something greater than the sum of our scars and failures." Her words hung in the charged air, a promise of metamorphosis that defied the grim reality outside. As the signal intensified, its intricate tapestry of color and sound grew more complex, weaving itself into the very fabric of the lab's atmosphere. The interplay of light and data rendered a scene of surreal beauty, a living mosaic that spoke of ancient wisdom and uncharted futures. In the midst of this radiant dance, Rhea's thoughts turned inward, grappling with both the weight of responsibility and the allure of rebirth. The message from the Zalak was clear: humanity was being called not to destruction, but to an evolution of spirit and intellect. "We are at the threshold of something monumental," she declared, her tone imbued with the resolve of a leader who had witnessed both the nadir of human suffering and the spark of resilience that could ignite a revolution. Her declaration was met with murmurs of agreement from her colleagues, each voice resonating with the quiet strength of a people yearning for redemption. Outside the fortified walls of the lab, the remnants of a broken world bore silent witness to decades of strife and loss, yet in that very moment, every individual present sensed the possibility of renewal. The alien frequencies, once perceived as distant echoes, now pulsed with the urgency of a cosmic heartbeat, inviting them to rewrite the narrative of human existence. We must embrace this call with courage and clarity, Rhea continued, her words melding with the luminous cadence that filled the space, for within this ethereal signal lies the promise of a new dawn, a chance to heal, to soar, and to redefine what it means to be human. Her impassioned speech, delivered with unwavering conviction, reverberated through the room, transforming the sterile lab into a sanctuary of hope and potential. Each scientist, each technician, felt the weight of history pressing upon them, a call to action that transcended the confines of conventional understanding. The data streamed relentlessly, and as patterns emerged from chaos, Rhea's mind raced to connect the dots, deciphering the enigma that bridged the gap between the stars and the soul of humanity. "This is our destiny," she whispered, almost to herself, as she examined the intricate interplay of light and sound that now dominated every display. The signal's gentle persistence reminded her of the ancient stories her grandmother once told, of times when the heavens spoke to those willing to listen, offering guidance and wisdom in moments of profound need. In that intimate convergence of science and myth, Rhea saw the outlines of a future where the wounds of the past could finally begin to mend. The room pulsed with collective anticipation, every heartbeat synchronized with the cosmic rhythm that beckoned from the vast unknown. "We have a rare gift here," she asserted, her eyes glimmering with the promise of revelation, a bridge between the past and the future, between despair and hope. "Let us seize it with all the resolve we can muster." The determination in her voice galvanized her team, infusing each of them with the energy to push beyond the limits of conventional science and dare to dream of a world reborn. As the hours melted away into an endless night punctuated by bursts of insight and discovery, Rhea and her colleagues wove together the fragments of the alien message, piece by luminous piece, forging a narrative that transcended the boundaries of time and space. It was a moment of raw, unfiltered possibility, a moment where humanity, battered but unbowed, stood on the precipice of a transformation that would echo through the corridors of history. With every new breakthrough, the promise of the signal grew clearer, its message unfolding like the petals of a cosmic flower, delicate yet determined in its quest to awaken the sleeping giants within. In that charged hour, as the glow of distant stars mingled with the soft luminescence of the lab's monitors, Dr. Rhea Cortland made a silent vow, a vow that no matter the cost, she would guide humanity toward this new horizon, where every heartbeat echoed the eternal song of resilience and rebirth. Dr. Rhea Cortland's voice trembled with a mixture of awe and urgency as she addressed her team in the dim glow of the laboratory's pulsating screens. "Listen, everyone, this is it, the moment our past has prepared us for." The lab, already humming with a blend of anxious anticipation and scientific fervor, resonated with the alien frequencies that now penetrated every circuit and every heart. Outside, the world remained unaware of the profound metamorphosis taking place within the human genome, but inside these walls, data scrolled across monitors like cosmic hieroglyphs, and each oscillation of light stirred a dormant power that had lain hidden for eons. Marshall, eyes wide as he scanned the latest readings, whispered, "Doctor, look at these patterns, they're unlike anything we've ever seen. It's as if the signal is reawakening something deep within us." Rhea's gaze shifted to the shimmering array of data, her mind racing as she pieced together the implications. The gentle, interstellar message from the Zalak was not merely a benign greeting but a catalyst that unlocked a latent ability within humanity, an ability to defy gravity, to become Violant, to rise above the limitations of flesh and history. "We are witnessing an evolutionary leap," she declared, her tone both reverent and resolute, "one that offers us the power to soar, to overcome the terrestrial bonds that have long confined us." As her words hung in the charged air, the first signs of transformation began to manifest among the researchers. A soft luminescence emanated from their skin, and the gentle tug of newfound buoyancy pulled them upward, an exhilarating yet disorienting sensation that defied their understanding of physics. The phenomenon was not chaotic but remarkably orchestrated, as if the very fabric of human biology had been meticulously rewoven by an external hand. "I can feel it," murmured Lena, a young scientist whose eyes sparkled with both fear and wonder, "like a current lifting me, urging me to reach higher than I ever thought possible." Her voice, barely audible, resonated with the promise of uncharted potential. Rhea stepped closer, her hand extended in silent reassurance, and in that charged moment, the collective heartbeat of the lab synchronized with the pulsing rhythm of the alien signal. The transformation was as beautiful as it was bewildering. Bodies that had known only the pull of the earth now moved with an elegant, effortless grace, as though the ancient gravitational chains had been shattered by a wave of cosmic renewal. Amid this extraordinary metamorphosis, the lab screens continued to flash streams of data, and every new reading confirmed that the signal was intricately designed to unlock a genetic legacy that had lain dormant, waiting for the right moment to awaken. "We must document every detail," Rhea insisted, her authoritative tone belying the surge of hope that coursed through her veins, "for in this moment lies the blueprint of our future, a future where the constraints of gravity and fear are but relics of a bygone era." The team, once fragmented by the mundane burdens of their scientific endeavors, now found themselves united by a singular purpose: to harness this newfound power and understand its true nature. Marshall's fingers flew over the console, his eyes darting between screens as he called out, "The neural oscillations are peaking in synchronization with the physical manifestations. We're seeing a direct correlation between the alien frequencies and our own bioelectric fields." His words, laced with excitement, underscored the magnitude of the discovery, a discovery that promised not only a leap in human capability but also the potential for unprecedented unity. Lena, her voice steadied by determination, added, "This isn't just about physical transformation, it's awakening an inner strength we never knew existed, a resilience that transcends our past struggles." The laboratory, once a sanctuary of isolated research, had become a crucible of evolution, where the promise of a higher form of existence mingled with the raw, unbridled energy of a species on the brink of rebirth. In that transformative moment, Rhea recalled the ancient myths and legends that spoke of humans as creatures capable of both great ingenuity and profound transcendence, and she realized that the Zalak had provided not a weapon, but a gift, a challenge to rise above the limitations that had defined humanity for millennia. "We are not being forced into this change," she stated softly, her eyes glinting with conviction as she addressed her team, "but rather, we are being called to embrace it, to become the architects of a new era where our potential is limited only by our courage." Her words echoed in the minds of her colleagues as each individual grappled with the exhilaration and uncertainty of the transformation. The air itself seemed to hum with the promise of change, a harmonious blend of science and destiny that left no room for regret. Marshall, now visibly buoyant both in spirit and in body, laughed, a sound filled with disbelief and joy, and declared, "We are rising, literally and figuratively. This is our moment to defy not just gravity, but the very notion of limitation." His laughter, contagious and liberating, broke the tension that had once gripped the room, allowing a ripple of optimism to spread through the team. Lena, her expression one of serene determination, nodded in agreement, her voice quiet yet resolute. "It is time to leave behind the shackles of fear and embrace the infinite possibilities that lie ahead." The alien frequencies, relentless and beautiful, wove themselves into the fabric of every thought and emotion, forging a connection between the terrestrial and the celestial, between human frailty and cosmic potential. In that unifying moment, as bodies floated with newfound lightness and minds soared on the wings of inspiration, the team realized that the transformation was not merely physical but also spiritual, a metamorphosis that transcended the boundaries of science and touched the very essence of what it meant to be human. Rhea's heart swelled with pride and anticipation as she surveyed her colleagues, each of them a living testament to the indomitable spirit of humanity. "We stand at the dawn of a new age," she proclaimed, her voice carrying the weight of destiny and the promise of rebirth, "an age where our evolution is not dictated by the past, but by the limitless horizon of our potential." As the signal continued its enigmatic song, interlacing with the rhythms of the human body, every member of the team found themselves propelled toward a future that defied the conventions of existence. The transformation, both breathtaking and challenging, was a clarion call to cast aside the doubts of yesterday and to boldly step into the luminous realm of tomorrow. In that silent communion between human and cosmos, the boundaries of the known world blurred, and every heartbeat in unison with the promise of liberation. The moment was fleeting yet eternal, a singular act that encapsulated the essence of humanity's quest for transcendence. With each passing second, the airborne dance of light and shadow told a story of resilience, of a species reborn through the gentle touch of interstellar grace, and of the relentless pursuit of a destiny that was as boundless as the stars themselves. In the midst of this awe-inspiring transformation, there was no time for hesitation or regret. The pure, unadulterated drive to ascend, to break free from the gravitational pull of fear, and to embrace the soaring heights of a future reimagined. Every word, every gesture, every pulse of the alien frequency wove together into a symphony of hope and possibility, a living testament to the fact that humanity, in its truest form, was destined to rise above all limitations and to claim its place among the cosmos as a beacon of unyielding spirit and endless potential. Dr. Rhea Cortland's voice, resolute yet laced with trepidation, resonated through the hushed chamber as she addressed her team with a gravity that cut through the tension. We stand at the precipice of a divide that could define our very future. The air, heavy with the aftershocks of transformation and the lingering pulse of alien frequencies, seemed to vibrate with conflicting energies as the once united group now found itself split by emerging ideologies and raw, unbridled power. Marshall's eyes darted from one side of the room to the other as he declared, "The data is unequivocal. The secondary frequency embedded within the signal is not just a catalyst for our evolution, but also the ignition for a latent aggression that now threatens to tear us apart." His words, stark and unyielding, echoed against the backdrop of a world already frayed by centuries of strife, stirring a murmur of disquiet among the assembled scientists. Lena, standing with a calm determination that belied the storm raging within her, responded softly, "We must choose. Will we harness this newfound ability to uplift humanity, or allow it to become a weapon of destruction?" Her question, simple yet profound, hung in the charged atmosphere like a silent plea for unity amid the chaos. The revelation that the alien message carried not only the promise of aerial transcendence but also a potential for deep-seated violence ignited a schism. Factions began to form among those who embraced the volatile gift as a means to seize control, and those who, like Rhea, sought to temper its effects with reason and measured compassion. "Our evolution is not a license for anarchy," Rhea insisted, her voice steady and unwavering as she moved closer to her colleagues. "It is a call to responsibility, to master the very force that could either free us or enslave us in our basest instincts." In that moment, the lab transformed into a crucible of divergent visions. One faction, emboldened by the raw exhilaration of newfound power, argued that humanity should ascend without hesitation, to use the ability to dominate and reshape the world in their image, while another, led by Rhea's cautious wisdom, warned that unchecked aggression would inevitably lead to self-destruction. "We are at a crossroads," Marshall interjected, his tone heavy with the weight of impending consequence, "and every decision we make now will reverberate through generations. We must find the counter-frequency, our antidote to this unleashed fury, before our internal battles spill over into global devastation." The urgency in his voice was mirrored by the desperate nods of his colleagues, their eyes reflecting both the promise of evolution and the terror of a future defined by endless conflict. Amid the heated debate, a young researcher, barely more than an apprentice in the grand scheme of their revolutionary undertaking, raised his voice with a fervor that belied his inexperience. "I have been analyzing the oscillatory patterns, and I believe that within the chaotic surge lies a hidden rhythm, a subfrequency that can serve as a harmonizing force if we can isolate and amplify it correctly." His words, spoken with a mix of youthful optimism and analytical precision, kindled a spark of hope in the room, as if the very notion of balance was within reach. Rhea's eyes narrowed with focused intensity as she absorbed this revelation, recognizing in it the potential to quell the internal strife that threatened to engulf them all. "Then our mission is clear," she proclaimed, her tone both decisive and inspiring. "We must decode this subfrequency, harness it, and broadcast it as a counter-signal to neutralize the aggressive surge before it fractures our society irreparably." As the discussion intensified, voices intermingled in a rapid cadence of theories and strategies, each proposal a thread in the tapestry of a future that could either lead to salvation or ruin. The room, once filled with the quiet hum of scientific inquiry, now vibrated with the passionate urgency of those who recognized that the fate of humanity rested on their ability to bridge the widening chasm between creation and destruction. "We must act now," urged Lena, her voice trembling with a blend of fear and determination. "Before the volatile impulse takes hold of more than just our minds and bodies, it will consume our very souls if we do not bring it under control." Her plea, raw and unfiltered, resonated with every person present, compelling even the most skeptical to confront the reality of their situation. Marshall's fingers flew over the control panel as he began to isolate the chaotic waveform from the stable baseline, his every keystroke an act of defiance against the forces that threatened to unmake them. "I'm locking onto the subfrequency," he announced, his tone laced with both hope and urgency, and recalibrating the emitter to synchronize with our neural oscillations. "This is our best chance to reset the balance before it's too late." The words hung in the charged air as the team rallied around the nascent solution, their combined expertise and shared resolve creating a fragile beacon of unity amid the burgeoning discord. In that critical moment, as the counterfrequency began to take shape, Rhea's mind flashed back to the ancient legends of heroes rising against insurmountable odds, and she felt the weight of destiny upon her shoulders. "Remember," she said quietly, her voice cutting through the tumult like a clarion call, "our greatest strength lies not in our ability to dominate, but in our capacity for adaptation and compassion. It is through understanding our inner conflicts that we can forge a future where our evolution is guided by wisdom rather than by unchecked impulse." Her words, imbued with a quiet intensity, struck a chord with the team, reinforcing their commitment to finding a harmonious resolution. As the countersignal grew stronger, the cacophony of dissent began to subside, replaced by a tentative unity that bridged the ideological divide. The radical faction, recognizing the potential for widespread devastation, slowly acquiesced to the prospect of a controlled transformation, their fierce eyes softening with the realization that true power was measured not in chaos, but in the courage to master oneself. In a final, decisive moment of collective resolve, Marshall initiated the global broadcast of the counterfrequency, his hand steady as he pressed a command that would ripple across the planet. "This is our turning point," he declared, his voice resonant with conviction. "Let our united signal be the heartbeat that restores balance, that transforms our volatile gift into a symbol of our indomitable spirit." The room fell into a profound silence as the countersignal surged outward, interweaving with the original alien frequency in a delicate dance of light and sound. Every individual present felt a palpable shift in the atmosphere, a release of pent-up tension, a softening of the raw aggression that had threatened to spiral out of control. In that transformative instant, as the frequencies aligned in harmonious synchrony, the inner turmoil of each soul was met with the promise of renewal and hope. Rhea's heart swelled with a mixture of relief and profound responsibility. As she witnessed the unification of her team, the once divided voices now singing in a single, resolute cadence that echoed the timeless truth that humanity's true strength lies in its capacity for self-mastery. "We have done it," she murmured, barely audible yet charged with the significance of the moment. "We have reclaimed our destiny from the clutches of chaos." The counterfrequency, a testament to the ingenuity and perseverance of a species at the crossroads, radiated outward, carrying with it the promise that humanity, despite its tumultuous past, could rise above its inherent conflicts to forge a future defined by balance, unity, and the eternal quest for self-improvement. In that one act of defiance against the forces of internal division, the seeds of a new era were sown, a future where the latent power within every individual was tempered by the wisdom to use it for the collective good, a future where the harsh lessons of the past gave way to the luminous hope of a united, evolved humanity. Dr. Rhea Cortland stood before the global broadcast console, her voice resolute and imbued with the promise of a future reborn, as she addressed the world in a single, electrifying moment of transformation. "This is our time to reclaim our destiny, to transform our volatile gift into a beacon of hope and unity." The countersignal, engineered through tireless nights of research and sacrifice, surged forth from the depths of the lab and into the hearts and minds of every human being, intertwining with the original alien frequency in a harmonious dance that resonated across every corner of the planet. In that defining instant, the air itself seemed to shimmer with renewed energy, as if the very fabric of reality had been rewoven to reflect the unyielding spirit of humanity. Marshall's steady fingers, still trembling with a mixture of adrenaline and relief, ensured that every data stream and waveform was transmitted flawlessly, while Lena's eyes, alight with both determination and quiet wonder, scanned the global monitors that now displayed the unified signal pulsing like the heartbeat of a revitalized world. "We are not merely survivors," Rhea continued, her voice rising above the din of static and whispered prayers that echoed through countless homes and makeshift shelters. "We are the architects of our future, endowed with the strength to rise above our darkest impulses and embrace a destiny defined by compassion, wisdom, and unparalleled resilience." The broadcast, transmitted in real time to every screen and speaker, carried her words like a rallying cry that transcended language and geography, stirring hearts that had long been shackled by fear and division. As the counterfrequency spread, it began to weave a subtle but unmistakable change in the human psyche. Old grudges and lingering wounds started to fade as communities, once torn apart by strife, found themselves united by a shared vision of rebirth and progress. In quiet villages and bustling metropolises alike, people paused to listen, their eyes lifted to the heavens in silent acknowledgement of a force that was bigger than any one nation, any single ideology. "Let this moment be the turning point," Rhea declared, her tone both firm and tender as she recounted the trials and tribulations that had brought them to this crossroads, "for we have learned that true power lies not in the ability to inflict harm, but in the capacity to heal, to innovate, and to rise together as one." Her words, broadcast in a seamless cascade of hope and resolve, resonated deeply with those who had long yearned for a chance to overcome the chaos of a fragmented past. Even as the counter-signal began to temper the wild, uncontrolled energies that had threatened to unravel the fabric of society, there was an undeniable shift in the collective consciousness, a burgeoning realization that the challenges they faced were not insurmountable, but rather invitations to evolve beyond the limitations of their former selves. In a quiet moment of introspection amid the tumult, Marshall recalled the countless hours of data analysis and the relentless pursuit of a solution that had once seemed almost impossible, and he whispered to himself, "We did it. We found a way to harness our inner strength and turn adversity into the catalyst for something greater." Lena, standing by his side as the counterfrequency resonated through the air like a symphony of renewal, added softly, "This is not just a scientific breakthrough, it's a testament to the indomitable spirit that resides within each of us, the spark that can ignite even the coldest darkness into radiant light." Their voices, merging with the broadcast, became part of a larger chorus that celebrated the triumph of human ingenuity over the forces of chaos and division. As the countersignal rippled outward, communities once isolated by despair began to reach out to one another, forging new bonds of understanding and cooperation. In distant cities where the scars of past conflicts were still fresh, neighbors embraced, their eyes alight with the realization that the power to heal was as innate as the desire to survive. In the laboratories and control centers that had borne witness to the birth of this new era, scientists and technicians allowed themselves a brief moment of quiet celebration, knowing that their relentless pursuit of knowledge had not only saved lives but had also paved the way for a future where humanity could soar both literally and metaphorically. The alien message, once misinterpreted as a harbinger of unintended aggression, now revealed its deeper purpose, a gentle invitation to transcend the confines of a turbulent past and to embrace the boundless potential that lay within every human heart. Today, we stand united not by force or coercion, but by the shared understanding that our future is forged in the crucible of our collective will, Rhea proclaimed, her voice imbued with the weight of history and the lightness of a dream realized. Let us remember that even in our moments of greatest vulnerability, we possess the capacity to rise above, to reimagine, and to rebuild a world where every individual strength contributes to a greater whole. Her words, filled with both humility and unwavering conviction, reverberated across the airwaves, inspiring countless souls to believe in the possibility of redemption and renewal. As the counterfrequency integrated seamlessly with the original signal, a profound calm began to settle over the planet, as if the tumultuous forces of anger and fear were being replaced by a steady, pulsating rhythm of hope. In homes, on streets, and in the hearts of millions, the realization took root that humanity's true power was not defined by its capacity for violence, but by its ability to transform adversity into opportunity, to convert pain into purpose, and to harness the very elements that once threatened to tear it apart into the building blocks of a brighter future. The broadcast, a singular act of defiance against the darkness that had long held sway over the human spirit, became a symbol of the resilience and ingenuity that lay at the core of human nature. In that decisive moment, the boundaries between science and myth blurred, revealing a narrative where every setback was a prelude to a greater triumph, where every tear shed in sorrow could give way to a smile of hope. Marshall's hands, still steady on the controls, and Lena's eyes, glistening with unshed tears of joy, testified to the fact that the human spirit, when united in purpose, could overcome even the most daunting of challenges. "This is our Renaissance," Rhea declared, her voice echoing like a promise across the vast expanse of the cosmos, a rebirth not just of our bodies and minds, but of our very souls, as we step forward together into a future that is as limitless as our dreams. With that, the countersignal surged into the night, carrying with it the hopes and aspirations of a species determined to rise above its past and to forge a destiny defined by unity, compassion, and the relentless pursuit of excellence. In the wake of that broadcast, a new era began, one in which the lessons of history were honored, the wounds of the past began to heal, and the vibrant tapestry of human potential shone brighter than ever before. Every whispered word, every shared glance, and every silent prayer in that moment contributed to a collective awakening, a realization that the true measure of humanity lay not in its ability to wage war, but in its capacity to nurture peace, to inspire greatness, and to transform the ordinary into the extraordinary. And as the world slowly embraced the promise of this new dawn, the legacy of that singular act of reclamation and renaissance would endure, a timeless testament to the power of unity, the brilliance of human innovation, and the unwavering belief that even in the face of overwhelming odds, we have the strength to soar beyond the confines of our limitations and into the radiant embrace of a future reimagined.